Hey all you future professional engineers, this is Mark Matson, and I just wanted to take a few more minutes here to give you a detailed course review and just go over the syllabus kind of like we would if this were meeting in person. So just to get started at the beginning of the semester, I just want to take a few minutes, run down the syllabus. So if you go to Blackboard, you should be able to find this syllabus, download it, and take a look at it. So as you all should know, the CRN is 2782. This is 1 credit hour. It's offered as a special topic. Hopefully this becomes something that happens frequently or either every semester or at least once a year. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be the primary instructor heading it up, and I'll be at office hours. My office hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 to 2. That correspond with the open times where no classes are scheduled. If you're playing sports, I understand sometimes that doesn't work for you, so definitely come and see me. We'll try and figure something else out. However, that said, I have tried to coordinate with other instructors so that they can cover technical content area that might not be my expertise, that is their expertise. So there's a list of that on Blackboard. I'll show you where that is, but I'll have office hours. You can always come see me. In addition, at least once a week, what we'll try and do here is we'll try and set up a time where somebody with that's an expert, say in hydrology or an expert in environmental engineering, will come in and sit with you and give you the opportunity to ask a bunch of questions. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that's going to work for you, and we'll go from there. So if those times don't work, let me know, but that's what we're going to do. So what this is CTC465. It is a study of selected topics of interest. So that's what we're going to do. This is hopefully with the desire to enhance your ability to practice your profession. So what we want is you to become an FE, or to pass your FE. What we want is you to start that process for licensure, and I'm sure you guys want that too. So hopefully that'll be a good thing for you. I've seen this credential is something that's really useful and used in industry. So if you want to go into consulting engineering, this is going to be something that you'll want to get. I know, like at the DOT, for example, when you pass your FE, that's a critical milestone. That if you don't pass your FE, you get in at the DOT as a junior engineer. If you don't pass it, you're dismissed. So it's not the first time, but I think it's within a year or 2 years. I don't remember the exact time period. But the FE is a standard that is industry-wide. It's a national standard. You can take this pretty much anywhere you go. So I commend you for taking the time here to spend your money, your resources to come and to study for this test so that you can go pass it. So what you get out of this course is really going to be what you put into it. This is, the objective is to get you, reviewing the FE information. To do that, what I mentioned in the overview is we're going to use PPI and their materials. So here's the access code, SUNY SP19. You'll have to go on. If you haven't done that already, make sure you go on, do that. You register, you pay, you activate the code. This will get you access to all sorts of really, really cool things. So what I did here is I also pulled up PPI's FE Prep University page. So what you receive for that $95 is practice exams that simulate the FE exam. So these will be computer based. They'll simulate what it's like to take the FE. That'll be helpful. In addition, you'll get the web books of PPI's, Michael Lindberg standards. These are kind of the industry standard for FE review. So the civil version, the mechanical version, whichever discipline you're taking, you'll get those books. Each week I'll post kind of what chapters we'll be looking at from those books as well, in particular focusing on, I should say. In addition to the books which have practice problems, there's quiz generators. So if you want extra practice, there's additional practice with quizzes. So we'll be doing those. I'll encourage you to do those. That'll be part of your grade as well, most likely. I'm still figuring out the exact percentages and what we're doing for grades, but basically I'm going to be giving you some things that I expect you to do. In particular, all the diagnostic exams. That's next year. So these diagnostic exams target where you're strong, where you're weak, and they show you that. So you take them before you do any review. They show you where your strengths and weaknesses are and help you to target your studying. In addition, if you want to print off or look at flashcards, I'm not sure if you can print them, but at least you can look at them. They'll help you, and there will be you can create a detailed study plan. So that's what you get for your access. It's, like I said, it's $95 for 4 months, which is really a good deal based on I think it's close to $400 or $500 if you're doing it for 4 months of access, not as a student, not through the university program. So what, that's what PPI does. What we want to do here at SUNY Poly is, again, come alongside you, offer the office hours, offer time where we can answer your questions and not just blindly let you go, but help you, come alongside you and really help you in the process. So if you haven't done so already, again, sign up for this, enroll in it. I'll be able to see that you're in our group. If you have any questions, let me know. I have also asked the bookstore if there's any way you can purchase the access through the bookstore. If you're one of those students that really want to purchase it through the bookstore due to financial aid considerations and that sort of thing, please send me an email. Let me know. I reached out to the bookstore to ask what they could do. There might be a way through, but I don't know yet. We're still working that out. So if that's you, let me know. So next on the syllabus here is the course format, the recorded resource, the textbook. Again, that's the FE Civil review. There are also FE Civil practice problems, or if you're in mechanical, it would be the mechanical review, mechanical practice problems. But you'll get that through the access to PPI. So at the end of the semester, what I'm hoping that you'll get out of this is that you'll be able to, one, successfully register for the FE. For those of you that are in civil engineering and you're in your last semester, you can register to take the exam before you graduate. And the nice thing is New York State has now set it up so that you don't even have to go get New York State approval if you're within 20 credit hours of graduation. That's for civil engineering students. For civil engineering technology students, you don't need to get New York State approval if you've graduated. So you can take the exam. So for both sets of students, both sets of majors, you can go take the exam once you graduate without needing to go get New York State approval. So that's a good thing. If you are in New York State and a civil engineering technology student and want to get an EIT certificate, come see me or talk to me about that. It might be better for you to take it through another state that more easily or actually does offer EIT certificates for engineering technology students. So if you have questions about that, please come and see me. So step 1, register for the exam. Step 2, be able to use the FE reference handbook. So the FE reference handbook is where all the equations are that you are able to use when you take the exam. So you should be able to become familiar with this, know where to find the equations, and know how to use them. So that's one thing that I hope you do, is I hope you print off or download a copy of the FE reference handbook so you can start getting really, really familiar with where certain equations are and what format they're in as well, because the format you learn them in your class might vary just slightly from the format that is in the reference handbook. So that's something that you'll want to come up with, or that you'll want to look at, right? Because some of the forces equal 0 in statics. However, the terminology or the characters or the notation might be slightly different, right? So you'll want to take a look at that in the handbook. So step 1, register. Step 2, get familiar with this handbook. Step 3, look at the different knowledge areas. So this is really where those diagnostic exams come in. So you are able to identify your strengths and weaknesses. You know where you have deficiencies, competencies, and you know where to focus your studying. So that's number 4. Number 5, I do want you to take a complete practice exam so that when you're all said and done, you know what it's like to take a computer-based exam. You've done that, you've practiced it, and it's not something that's foreign to you, right? You've sat down at a computer, you've had your reference handbook up on one screen, you've had the exam on the other screen, and you've been able to go through and make it work. So that's what I'm hoping this will do for you. So ultimately, I hope that taking this class will help you to successfully pass the exam. As far as grading goes, what I'm going to do is this is kind of a loose criteria right here, and what I know for certain isn't going to change is that you need to complete all the diagnostic exams. You need to complete, I think there's 16 of them. I could be wrong on that, but you need to include or complete all the diagnostic exams. In addition, I'm going to skip over the practice problems here, but you need to complete one full practice exam. So if you do those things, you will get an A in the course. Okay, if you don't complete all the diagnostic exams, if you don't complete the practice exam, then you're not gonna get an A. In addition, this 50% of practice problems, this may turn into a certain percentage of quizzes instead of the practice problems. I need to look at that in the reporting once the semester gets going. I will send an update out on that as soon as I have it. So again, what I'm looking for you to do is to do the work and just to actually get familiar with the information, know where your strengths are, know where your weaknesses are, and come to a place where you're able to successfully pass that exam. So that's roughly where the grading criteria is. If you sign up for the course and then don't do anything, that's where you're going to run into trouble. So if you realize that the semester is going to be really busy and you're not able to keep up with doing the exams, the quizzes, practice exam, then you might want to consider not taking it for credit. Right? So if you want to do this more on a loose basis and do it whenever you have time, you might want to consider not doing it for credit. But if you know that, if you want that credit there to help you, motivate you, keep your feet to the fire, so that each week you set aside some time to look through the chapters in the book, do some practice problems, maybe do a quiz, do that complete practice exam, then by all means, I'm so glad that you're in the course. So that's where grading will be. I'm not going to grade so much on accuracy or completeness or correctness. You don't need to get every single question right to get an A, but you do need to do the work. This is more of an effort-based course than anything else. So your grade will really be based on the effort you put into it. So if you have questions about that, again, shoot me an email and we can talk some more. Okay, so that's the grading. The technical content areas, I take these straight from civil, so the civil discipline. So if you're in mechanical, some of these will overlap, like math, probability, statistics, computational tools, ethics, economics, statics, dynamics, mechanics, and materials. Materials is a little bit more civil, but once we get past about this halfway point, it really starts focusing more on the civil discipline. So some of the fluid mechanics will be mechanical, but hydraulic systems, structural analysis, structural design, geotech, transportation, environmental, construction and surveying, these are definitely more civil specific. So the first half of this course will kind of we'll have targeted office hours that kind of can go with either civil or mechanical, but the second half is really going to be targeted mostly for civil. So if you are mechanical, that's not to say you can't take it. I'm glad you're here, and I'm happy to have you in the course, and I will do my best to answer questions, but you may need to go seek out some professors to answer some more of the mechanical specific questions if you have them. All right. As always, code of conduct, you got to make sure that you don't cheat, and you don't have somebody else come and do your work for you. If you do have accommodations that I need to know about, you need to let me know. But again, hopefully with everything being online, it should all work. But if for some reason something I post you can't see or doesn't work for you, please let me know. I'm going to try and post these videos through YouTube, so there should be some closed captioning, I believe. So if you have questions with that, please let me know. So that's the basics on the syllabus. In addition, what I wanted to do here was just to take a second and run through a couple different things. So first was, this is the FE Prep University. We talked about that, but to sign up, there's a link on a bunch of different places on Blackboard, I believe on the syllabus, but you're going to go to the students, click, you have a university group, so you have to click to get started, and then once you come to this page, this next page, what you'll do is you'll enter in that group. So that group is the SUNY SP, you don't get 15% off, sorry. Actually, this isn't coming up for me, but typically with this as a student, I think I'm already logged in, so it's having an issue here. But when you click to get started, it'll prompt you to enter that access code. Once you enter the access code, it'll give you the $95 for 4 months access. So make sure you do that. Then make sure you go and activate it, because you have to activate the code once you sign up. Okay, so enrollment is now open. I think it was open as of January 21st. So you should be able to sign up, activate everything, and move forward. Once you sign up, what I want you to do next is to go in, and I've done this already in my version, but I've created a study plan. So to do that, what I'll show you is basically I'll create a new one here. But basically, if you go in, you should be able to come up with a study plan in PPI. So if you come in here, let's see how we can do this. So I'm going to create a new plan. So yes, it'll delete the old one, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do with this plan is I'm going to give it essentially give an exam date. So what I want to do is I want to create a study plan. I'm going to go to the FE Civil, or if you're mechanical, go to mechanical. I'm going to use a date of 5/21/2019. So four months from the start of the semester, 5/21/2019. And I'm going to create a custom study plan. Once I do that, it brings me through a couple other options here. But, extra practice, sure, why not? You can always leave it out, I guess. But blackout dates, no. You could put a spring break in here if you want to black that out. But basically, I'm going to just use these options. I'm going to start the study plan on 1/21/2019. I'm going to go till 5/21/2019. And extra practice, sure. Days available, sure. Blackout dates, no. And then if I click create study plan, the nice thing about this is it gives us kind of a target to go through. So what this does, it tells you some different things. So background information, right? So do you understand the background information? If you do, mark it as complete. Mark it as complete. If you want to sign up for the exam, go ahead and sign up for it. You can wait to do that later as well. In addition, you want to download the NCES FE Reference Handbook. I mentioned that earlier. So definitely go download that. You'll likely need to go to NCES to do that, but download the handbook. You don't need to buy the print copy. You can certainly go to nces.org and download it for free. So that's what I would do, nces.org, right? So if we take this and we go to nces.org, you can come in here, and if we search the FE Reference Handbook, we should be able to go and get that and download it. So NCES published a new version of FE Reference Handbook. Let's go there and see what they say. So there should be a way to download it. So download free of charge, right? So that's really where you want to go with this. So you can download that free of charge. So when you come to NCES, you can scroll down here, and the FE Reference Handbook is down here. So I believe this is to buy a paper copy of it. In addition, there should be a way to download. So once you register or log into my NCES, you can download a free copy of the FE Reference Handbook. So if you want to buy it, you can spend the $14. But what I would suggest is that you just create an account with NCES and download a free copy of the FE Reference Handbook. So if you have questions on that, let me know for sure. So this study schedule will come back here for a second, right? So where do we start? We start with background information, register for the exam, we download the FE handbook, and then in addition, obtain your exam day calculator. So NCES has approved calculators, and this is something that you'll need to take note of, right? NCES, if I come back to NCES over here, these are the approved calculators. So we have approved calculators, the Casio FX115, FX991, Hewlett-Packard 33S, 35S, all TI 30X and 36X models. So if you don't have one of those calculators, I would highly recommend you go and buy one. And the reason being is because only one of these calculators can be brought in to the exam. Actually, you can bring in two. What I did when I took my PE, to be honest with you, is I went to Walmart, I bought a second one and brought it with me. I didn't open it because, but I just wanted to have that safety feeling of having a second calculator in case my first one died, right? So I had two, but I used one, I kept one as a backup, and then brought it back to Walmart when I was done. So, I didn't need two calculators, so that's what I did. But you can do whatever you want. If you have two, great. If you have one and you're confident in it, great. But that's one thing to do. You can go to Walmart. Here's $12.97 for the the TI-30X or 2S, or you can get pink. Oh, actually, well, blue's out of stock. Lime green. Here's pink. Pink is in stock. So if you like pink, there you go. Otherwise, you can get the Casio. It's a little bit more expensive. Some people like Casio. Some people like HP in the reverse notation. But whatever calculator you're comfortable with, make sure you get what you need to use and use it during the practice. Okay, so week one, really what you're going to be doing is going through a bunch of this stuff, trying to figure all this stuff out, making sure you're signed up, making sure you understand, getting your study plan set up. And then what you're going to start to do here is this. The nice thing about the study plan is it sets up this basic outline of what you need to go through, right? So what I would suggest is the first thing you do is you go through, and actually you need to do this for credit for the course, just take the diagnostic exams, see where you're at with things, right? So you come in here, these should already be purchased through once you get the subscription, but basically here are diagnostic exams for math, probability, fluid, hydraulics, environmental engineering, right? So again, these are just all the different tests, and what does it go up to? It does go up to 16. So a lot of different things. I think each of these are 10 questions, so they're not super long, right? But they're just enough to kind of get a gauge for how much you understand the material. So the first week, that's what I would suggest you do. If you want extra practice, there's extra practice listed here. Remember, we check that box. This stuff's optional, but you can look at a practice exam if you want. You can do flashcards, you can do other specific review. So with the practice exams, I would suggest that you take at least one of these during the semester, probably one towards the end of the review or in the middle of the review. If you're going to do two, I'd do one in the middle, one at the end, kind of just get a gauge of where you're at. Again, but the diagnostic exams should give you a pretty good sense. So if you can get that done in week one, you're doing really well, right? So we have our calculator, we have the study plan, we have the reference handbook, and more of a detailed understanding of what we're looking for in this course. So again, what you put into this course is what you'll take out of it. If you put in the effort to really work through the problems and solve them, you'll learn a lot. To be honest with you, what I did when I studied for my PE exam is I took the Michael Lindbergh material from PPI2Pass, and I basically just went through the book cover to cover, did all the practice problems, and when I showed up at the exam, I was able to get through the 4 hours in the morning, the 4 hours in the afternoon, without much trouble. To be honest with you, the PE exam, maybe it's easier than the FE, I don't know, but what I remember is the way I studied for that was I went through this material, I went through the PPI material, I read through the book kind of cover to cover, I did the practice problems, and their information, their resources really helped prepare me. So that's what I want to encourage you with, is that one day you will be that future professional engineer. One day you will be able to go and stamp your own plans. But it starts with getting your education. It continues with taking this test. And I really want to encourage you all to do your best on this, to pass it, to come and let me know that when you pass it and that you've passed it. And I'll share in congratulating you with that. One last thing before I leave is with Blackboard. Right, on Blackboard, the syllabus is posted. There's a sample study schedule that I created similar to the one that's up there now. There's also this office hours schedule, so if you click on the office hours schedule, I have contacted a number of professors already, and so far I think we have confirmations for just about every week. And so this targeted office hours will give you an idea of who's going to be there when and what we're going to be focusing on for that week. I'll try and send something out each week that basically gives you a focus of where to focus your energy. So week one, we're doing this registration, the diagnostic exams. Week two, math, probability, statistics. Week three, ethics, economics, computational tools. So we'll have people doing office hours with some sort of, if you bring questions that you want to go over, we'd be happy to go over those and go from there. So this is a schedule. If it changes, I will let you know. In addition, what I will do is I will try and post an item like this each week where I give you kind of an update of what's going on this week. For office hours, for example, I'll be there from 12:30 to 1:30 in Donovan Hall, and I'd be happy to answer any questions related to registration, course requirements. In addition, the checklist for the week, so I'll try and put up a checklist for you. So, this is week 1. Sign up for the PPI2Pass access. Set up a study plan. Buy a calculator if you don't have one, and take the diagnostic exam. So those are the 4 things that you should try and do this week. In addition, there's a video here with a general overview. I'll post another one. That's this video in just a few minutes when I'm finished here. So each week I'll post something like that to try and give you a quick update as to where we're at, and we'll go from there. So if you have questions, feel free to shoot me an email or come see me. Thanks so much for your time today. Look forward to a great semester.